AAPI filmmakers are finally getting representation. Scream is backpedaling. Superman is in a ton of trouble. And have movie readings taken a turn for the worst? We've got all that and more tonight on 20,000 Films Under the Sea. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to 20,000 Films Under the Sea for January 31st, 2025. I am one of your directors tonight, Arnell Pearson, alongside my executive producer. It is good old DJ Simfit.
Yo, what it do,
What
man?
is poppin', big dog? How's your day going?
It's been going good, dude. It's been really chill. Had some Taco Bell today, so
Very nice, very
nothing
nice.
too crazy.
DJ,
Crazy.
do you mind me asking, do you have gray in
What's
your
up?
hair?
Yeah, a little bit. It's like I don't know. It's like in like a certain patch. Like
Wow.
it just grows.
Got some gray in there, man. It's
Yeah.
good. It's a good look.
I have
I mean, like,
orange in my beard too sometimes.
I have the orange in my beard too, dude.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I don't know why that is that we have that because I have
I have
no
a theory.
Okay.
I have a
okay.
theory. When you brush your teeth and like the toothpaste gets into your beard
Mm.
and it stays there, because like you know what I mean? Like maybe like the contents of it.
I might. We got to do a little bit of study because that might be a thing. That might be a thing. Who knows?
Because
so-
like the location of it is, because it doesn't pop out like here, you know what I'm saying? It's like right.
Yeah,
like this
right.
area.
It's kind of like in this.
So like
general
I'm
area right
just
here.
assuming like any type of acid or any type of thing that like hits in this area in your mouth might change the color of
Bleaching
it.
it up a little bit, maybe, that's a little
Mm-hmm.
something. I like it. DJ, so you had Taco Bell today. What else is going on? Today, a
Nothing
chill
much,
day.
man.
It was a chill day.
Yeah, just chill day. you
Yeah,
know?
brother.
Just
yeah.
anticipating tomorrow, dude. I'm ready for tomorrow.
Yes, sir. I'm ready for tomorrow. I got one thing that I gotta get ready and set for you guys in the morning when I wake up bright and early before our meeting, and then we'll be ready to rock and fucking roll, dog. You guys are in for a fun one tomorrow because it's gonna be your first battle coming up tomorrow, so it's gonna be a fun time, man. I'm excited for you guys. But I'm not gonna hold everybody to it. We got lots to cover tonight because tonight we're going to have some fun, my friend. This is 20,000 Films Under the Sea, your choice for all the nerdy pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you want each and every freaking week. If you like that, you can head on over to our Discord channel where you can submit questions and topics, get content exclusively, and have early access to episodes before they go live on podcast and video services near you. But if you've emptied your pockets for the latest and greatest entertainment, that is cool with us. You can watch us record this show live right here at twitch.tv/Good Kraken Show. If you have Amazon Prime, you also have Twitch Prime, DJ
Prime Gaming!
and we would love for you to give that to us to help keep the lights on and cameras rolling. But you can also support us by going to our YouTube channel, hitting subscribe, hitting that little bell, that beautiful notification button, or by leaving a review on our podcast channel by searching 20,000 Films Under the Sea, and we'll be right there waiting for you.
For you.
DJ, my boy.
What up, man?
We have some director's commentary. Guys, we have a Shipwreck Show, brand new episode that is out this week. Xander got an opportunity to force us to play our version of a wonderful show that we so doubly named. Whose Kraken is it anyways? That's a fun
Or
episode.
crack some noise.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Crack
make
some-
some crack?
Yep, Kraken noise.
No, I don't think we can do that.
Yeah, I don't know. That one's allowed.
Oh, that one's a little rough.
I'll have to stick around with that one. You guys can check that out there. And then our latest episode of Death Ratio is also out on YouTube and podcast services of your choice. Garrick and Devin got a chance to talk about the Xbox Developer Direct from last week and kind of give us a little bit of a rundown on their thoughts and feelings on that bad boy. So go check that out. Very good episode. They killed it. They killed that episode. And then last but not least, we have Songs of the Abyss, our D&D podcast. Our official episode 1 is out now, and we are now officially, finally, on Apple Podcasts. I had to force some shit a little bit, work the magic of good old daddy mommy, and do what the oldies call these days an email, uh, and say, hey, why is this taking so fucking long? And and they said, well, you can manually do it this way. We'll walk you through some stuff. So I got it taken care of for. So it is now out on Apple Podcasts. You guys can subscribe over there. That is going to be the best place to find us right now. In terms of supporting the podcast. So check that out, subscribe. All of our podcasts, just a reminder for everybody, all of our podcasts are different podcasts. Like, you have to go and find the individual ones. We have links all over the place for you guys to be able to subscribe to them. You guys can find all of it congregated at goodkraken.com, or at the very, very top, there's a button that says, check out our podcast. And you can hit that button, and there will be a webpage that has all 4 of our wonderful shows for you to go check out, subscribe, listen to on your podcast service of choice. And then obviously there's our YouTube, which has all of our podcasts together in one spot if you want to watch
all the
videos in one place, one nice, tidy little place. But in the meantime, we have some fun stuff. DJ, what are we getting into next, my good sir?
Well, or no. We're getting into the monologue.
The monologue. I thought you were gonna go into a monologue for a second. Guys, the monologue is now our news section where we get a chance to talk about some movies and shows that are releasing over the course of the next week. So DJ, last week we had kind of tinkered with doing Tuesday to Tuesday, and after I thought about it and was putting things together today, because of how the structure of the week is, I think it'll be better for us to do Friday to Friday. So we're gonna try that out today and see how that feels. So. Starting with today, Friday, January 31st, we have releases of Dogman in theaters. If you've got kids, go take your kids to that bad boy. My daughter loves the books. And then the new hit movie Companion is out in theaters today as well. That is Jack Quaid from The Boys, having a hot robot girlfriend. You guys can check that out there. And the wonderful hit movie that came out last year, Sing Sing, is hitting VOD. That is hold on, what's his goddamn? I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now. That is Coleman Domingo. He plays as a man who is, I believe he's in jail, and he's putting on a theater presentation in the jail that he's in. I heard that movie was very, very good. It got raving reviews last year, so definitely go check that bad boy out. And then this Sunday, just a quick little mention here, February 2nd, we have the 67th Annual Grammy Awards. Excuse me. If you guys are at all interested in some of those award ceremony stuff, that is going to be a very good thing for you guys to be checking out, kind of see where some of these hardworking filmmakers and stuff are going to be leading into the year. So, and then Tuesday, February 4th, we got Wicked coming to Blu-ray and DVD. Juror number 2 is hitting Blu-ray and DVD as well. The hit movie Werewolves, actually is not a hit movie, that movie fell way under the radar, is also hitting Blu-ray and DVD. And then a movie that's super sick, VHS Beyond, is hitting Blu-ray and DVD as well. And then next Thursday, we have Invincible Season 3 hits and drops on Amazon. I still need to watch Season 2, DJ. It's so
it'd be like that, man. I still need to watch Season 1.
Yeah, you do.
I have not watched Invincible yet.
It's a good show, man. It's a good show. That first season was pretty impressive. Yeah, I'll find some time to carve out Season 2. And then finally, next Friday, February 7th, we have Love Hurts, which is a movie we will be reviewing next week, just for everybody to know. That is Ki Hoi Kwan as a secret double agent who has retired and is now no longer in retirement. So that's going to be a fun movie to see. And then
unretired.
Yeah, exactly. And then a movie that arguably doesn't look all that great. Hard Eyes, the horror movie Hard Eyes, is coming into theaters as well. And then a movie called Bring Them Down, starring Barry Keoghan, is coming to theaters. That movie looks like it'll be a sleeper hit. And then lastly, We Live in Time, that is Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh's romance love movie, is hitting Max on Friday. A movie that I was wanting to see very, very badly, and I will now be watching on Max for free. Feels very good.
Hell yeah.
DJ,
yeah.
my boy, that has been the monologue. But we have another section that we're going into, my friend. And what is that going to be?
Yeah. We're talking to you, the viewer, right there.
Oh,
You're breathing manually.
you. Yeah,
right?
you. Yeah, you.
Yes, you just started breathing manually, right?
Uh-huh.
And now you can notice your nose when you look down. So
Don't think about blinking.
We're breaking, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we're here because we just broke the fourth wall with you.
He's broke the fourth wall, baby. That's right. The fourth wall is our news segment where we get to talk about, very briefly, some recent movie news and TV show news and Hollywood news, generally speaking, though we want to make sure that we fill you guys in on at home. So, DJ, we have our first story here, a very, very sick one. Go ahead and take it away, my friend.
The CAPE and the TAAF launch Rising Filmmakers Finishing Fund for Asian and Pacific Islander directors. This comes from Chris Gardner from The Hollywood Reporter. Two nonprofits are teaming up to help fledgling filmmakers finish their films. Coalition of Asian Pacific in Entertainment, CAPE, and the Asian American Foundation, TAAF, this week announced the launch of a Rising Filmmakers Finishing Fund. It will provide two Asian American, Native Hawaiian, or Pacific Islander filmmakers with post-production grants of $50,000 each for their second to fifth feature films. The two grantees will also receive networking opportunities in the ranks of CAPE and TAAF. I'm going to call it that.
Let's call it TAAF. Yeah, that's fine. That's okay.
Candidates must submit a live-action narrative feature project that is at least 90% through principal photography or in post-production. The project must also be consistent with CAPE's mission to champion diversity by educating, connecting, and empowering AANHPI artists and leaders in entertainment and media, per the organization. Quote, all too often, talented indie filmmakers burst onto the scene with an incredible debut, only to toil for years or even decades to complete a sophomore feature and beyond. A closer look at the numbers reveals that women and people of color are much less likely to make this leap, said Michelle K. Sugihara, CAPE Executive Director. The Finishing Fund will help Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander filmmakers continue rising in their careers by propelling their successive projects to the big screen. Committed to ensuring creatives and storytellers have the support they need to thrive throughout their careers, TAAF is addressing gaps in career development through the Rising Filmmakers Finishing Fund, said Dr. Masu Momaya, TAAF's director of narrative charge. We're thrilled to be working with CAPE, an unparalleled champion for AANHPI creatives, to ensure filmmakers have the resources and support to bring their narratives to life. AANHPI representation on screen and behind the camera is critical to bringing about safety, inclusion, and belonging for AANHPIs in America. Submissions are open now through March 31st on Coverfly.
So for people at home, just so that they understand, AANHPI stands for Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islanders. That is...
we need a better acronym.
Yeah, right. At first, it was like AAPI was like just fine. Yeah. I will say I do appreciate them kind of solidifying that Native Hawaiians are so different culturally speaking, because they sort of meet in this middle place between Asian American and Pacific Islander. So I'm glad that they are putting a little bit of representation of that, but we need something a little bit more well-rounded. Anyways, with that said, this is fucking sick. We do not get a whole lot of AAPI filmmakers these days. There's a handful that are doing the motherfucking thing, but it's very few and far between. And it's awesome to see groups wanting to say, hey, we want to support this. We want to support your creativity because we need more of us out here in Hollywood and making movies and doing the thing. It's really, really cool to see something like this, especially coming off of the success of god damn it, what was it? The horror movie where the girls can see like dead people when she touches the hand mannequin thing. Speak to Me. That's what it was. The guys that did Speak to Me were YouTuber guys that that were actually known for doing the infamous like Ronald McDonald skit thing where they would have him like screaming and punching people and freaking the fuck out. It was a crazy moment to see them sort of come in and make something of that. If you guys are interested, their channel was called Raka Raka, RACKA Raka Raka. And you guys can check that out. They have some really, really great, funny, historically great YouTube content that you guys can check out. DJ, what are your thoughts on this bad boy? Does this speak to you in a wonderful way too?
Yeah, I absolutely think that this is what we need. Um, as Asian Americans, as part of this community, I strongly feel that we need more representation on camera and behind the camera as well. I think it's really cool. Maybe some aspiring filmmakers are listening to our podcast. Go apply for that grant. Hopefully, you get that 50,000. Help your next film. So
Absolutely, man.
I think it is really sick.
Good time, brother. It's a good time. I mean, like we've been seeing some guys kind of rise up and do the thing, like Destin Daniel Cretton, the guy who did Shang-Chi. He's half Japanese and Hawaiian, and so it's cool to see like that kind of being on the forefront. We're coming on the rise. Raka Raka, obviously. There's some really, really cool stuff to come out of this. So as DJ said, please. If you are a filmmaker in the AAPI ethnicity graph, I guess you'd say, please do yourself a favor and go apply for that. It's going to be a great opportunity for you. In the meantime, DJ, some unfortunate news here. Well, actually, depending on who you ask, because there's some situation with this, but we'll get into it. OG Scream star Matthew Lillard, the king himself, is back for Scream 7. This comes from Wesley Yin-Poole over at IGN, and he says, Deadline reported that Lillard, who famously played antagonist Stuart Stu Macher in the 1996 original Scream film, will now be starring in Scream 7. Fans of the franchise will wonder how Lillard can be in Scream 7 given the events of the first movie. Will he reprise his role as Stu or play someone else? It remains a mystery for now, but Lillard did tease his involvement in a post on his Instagram. And the post is really cool. He wrote down something on a piece of paper that was a quote from the first movie. It was really cool. Really cool marketing. The OG Scream band is getting back together somewhat, with Lillard set to join Neve Campbell, who's reprising her role as Sidney Prescott, and Courtney Cox of Scream 7. Scott Foley, Mason Gooding, and Jasmine Savoy Brown are in it too. It's big news for a movie that at one point seemed like it might no longer be on the way after a tumultuous cycle of development. Star Melissa Barrera was fired from the movie back in November 2023 after a series of social media posts about the conflict in Gaza. Just a day after that news dropped, it was also revealed that star Jenna Ortega would not be returning for Scream 7, meaning both of the Carpenter sisters who have been at the center of the series since 2022's Scream were no longer attached. Then in December 2023, director Christopher Landon also exited Scream 7 himself, saying in a somber statement that, quote, it was a dream job that turned into a nightmare, end quote. Since then, Kevin Williams, who wrote the first Scream movie as well as Scream 2 and Scream 4, has taken over as director. Scream and Scream 6 directing duo Radio Silence announced in August 2023 that they wouldn't be returning to direct Scream 7, but they are still attached as executive producers. Guy Busick, who co-wrote the previous two films in the series, is returning to write the screenplay. Scream 7 hits cinemas on February 27th, 2026. DJ, here's a deal, dog. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Okay. Sometimes I've had to make executive decisions for us in terms of hey, I don't feel right in covering this movie or
Mhm.
covering this game, or because of some background noise that is directly involved. And thankfully, all of us here at Good Kraken are typically on the same page when that happens.
Mhm.
We're all pretty like of the same mind of like, yeah, don't really want to touch that one either.
Yeah.
This is one I might make that decision on
Mm.
because of the way things played out in terms of Melissa Barrera and her stance on trying to defend Palestinians and what was happening in Gaza, and Jenna Ortega
Mhm.
defending her and like standing up for that as well. I don't feel right seeing this movie. I don't know
Yeah.
how you feel.
I mean, you already know me. I dislike the Scream series for a number of reasons.
Same, same.
I just don't think they're cool. I think, um, like, I feel like the first one was like that was it. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
And it just turned into like this culture outside of the movie,
Right.
and I think that's what keeps this film series alive. You know, um, and yeah, I don't. I also don't. I don't feel comfortable watching this movie either, or like getting back into um this franchise at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think this might be a skip for me and you.
Yeah. And it's a bummer because like Matthew Lillard is awesome. And
Yeah, he's super chill. He's super cool, but
and I know that
you
like
know,
his involvement in this doesn't have anything to do with like what had happened prior, and he's probably seeing it as like a really great opportunity to come back and
hmm
like fan service for people. And that's cool and all. But I can't in my good conscience watch this movie and be like, wow, they still
hmm
have a ton of people attached to this that
hmm
totally just backhandedly fucked Melissa Barrera for standing up for something that
yeah,
we all have since then agreed has been a terrible fucking thing that's happened in this fucking world. It's still happening in this fucking world, and people are still suffering from the consequences of that. So who would have thought she was right? You know what I mean?
hmm
So
yeah,
yeah, it goes without saying. I'm sure that DJ and I will not be reviewing this movie on February 27th, 2026.
hmm
Now, me and Genesee were the ones that reviewed the last two. And the last movie we actually did kind of like, especially moreover than the one prior, because the one prior was dog shit. But I don't think I liked the movies enough to have any more mixed feelings than that on here. So that is a-okay with me, DJ. We have our
yeah.
last story here for the people. And it's a little bit of a big one, DJ. So I apologize for giving you a big old article here. But big news here: Superman is on the fritz. DJ, tell him.
Superman's creator's estate sues DC and Warner Brothers over foreign copyrights ahead of James Gunn reboot. This
Mm.
comes from Gene Mattis,
Mattis,
Gene
yeah, I'd
Matto,
say. Yeah.
Matto, Mattis or Matto from Variety. The estate of Superman co-creator Joe Shuster sued DC Comics and Warner Brothers on Friday, seeking to invalidate the company's copyrights in several foreign markets. The suit revives a long-running dispute that was last addressed by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeal in 2013. The court rejected the Schuster estate's attempt to cancel this Superman copyright, finding that Schuster's sister had signed away his termination right after his death in 1992. In the new case, the estate's attorney, Mark Toberoff, asserts claims under copyright laws in the UK, Canada, Ireland, and Australia. The suit comes months before Warner Brothers Discovery will before Warner Brothers. Discovery will release Superman this summer, relaunching the valuable franchise and starting a planned cinematic universe of DC characters. In the suit, filed in the Southern District of New York, Toberoff argues that the copyright reverted to the Schuster estate in most of the countries in 2017 and in Canada in 2021.
Mm.
Yet defendants continue to explore Superman. exploit Superman across these jurisdictions without the Schuster estate's authorization, including in motion pictures, television series, and merchandise. In direct contravention of these countries' copyright laws, which require the consent of all joint copyright owners to do so, Toberoff wrote. Through a spokesperson, Warner Brothers, which owns DC, said it will fight in court. Quote, "We fundamentally disagree with the merits of the lawsuit and will vigorously defend our rights," the spokesperson said. Schuster and Jerome Siegel created Superman and sold the rights for $130 in 1938. I mean, counting inflation, it's probably it's still a lot. It's still a lot, but like not as much as you think. You know?
Oh, sure.
Siegel died in 1996. The heirs of both creators have sought to reclaim the rights since then. Toberoff has been involved in those efforts since 2001. DC sued him in 2010, accusing him of seeking to enrich himself by wrongfully working with the creators' estates to try to wrest control of Superman. The company ultimately prevailed in a 2-1 ruling at the Ninth Circuit. Toberoff argues in the complaint that the previous litigation was limited to termination rights under the U.S. Copyright Act and does not affect the estate's overseas copyrights. The suit states that under the copyright laws in the UK and the other countries at issue, the rights to Superman automatically reverted to the estates 25 years after the creators' deaths. Toberoff argues that the U.S. District Court has jurisdiction over the dispute in part due to the Berne Convention, the international treaty which the U.S. joined in 1988. Among other things, the suit seeks an order blocking Warner Brothers from distributing Superman in the UK and other disputed territories without first obtaining a license from the estate. Quote, "We live in a global economy. Studios like DC Entertainment and Warner Brothers cannot expect foreign countries to respect and enforce U.S. copyright law amidst rampant piracy. If we don't respect and enforce their copyright laws," Toberoff said in a press release. Quote, "This suit is not intended to deprive fans of their next Superman, but rather seeks just compensation for Joe Shuster's fundamental contributions as the co-creator of Superman. The ball's in DC and Warner Brothers court to do the right thing," end quote. Ooh.
This is interesting, DJ. It's mostly interesting because why now, do you think? You know what I mean?
Like, I don't know.
Because we've had tons of Superman. Even between T17 up to now, we've had some Superman. A good amount of Superman, if you will. I'm curious as to what triggered this to happen now as opposed to before. Did maybe they did get the copyrights and now it's expired or something? I don't know. Do you think that this, I mean, what in reality speaking here, in terms of, let's say this doesn't work out, Warner Brothers has to pay out a bunch of fucking money, the family, all this other stuff. And then what happens from there? Do you think that they potentially only release this movie in the United States and territories that were not covered in this copyright law suit?
Yeah, it's weird. Like, there's just the whole wording of it.
Yeah, it's just like, it's alarming because we've had a ton of superhero stuff in the past 2 decades. And I don't remember us having to see something like this happen in prior superhero films that we've gotten, even ones that had Superman in them, which is fucking crazy. So I suppose we will more than likely see where, you know, things are going from there, but it's going to be crazy to see how it turns out in terms of this new Superman movie that actually looks pretty good. I don't know if you took the time to watch the trailer and kind of dive into it yourself, DJ.
Yeah, I have not. I saw, actually I have. I watched a little bit of it. I caught a glimpse of it. It looks pretty cool. I genuinely like the look of it. I know there was a lot of discourse in that trailer for some reason.
Yeah, for whatever reason, but it was a very weirdly emotional trailer. It had me and Garrett kind of feeling some kind of way watching it. I don't know if it was just because the music and whatnot, but the trailer looks really, really fucking good. So it will be interesting to see what where this will be taken, considering like this is technically James Gunn's first movie to roll out that is going to be him potentially quote unquote saving the DCEU, right? So like
Yeah.
having the first attempt to do that now potentially being squandered by a massive lawsuit like this, because this isn't small, right? This is not small time. This is a big international ordeal for a lot of money. Enough money that studios could arguably say, don't know if we can do that. You know what I mean? So it's scary. It's scary. We'll see how it goes from there. DJ, we have our final section tonight, our final little segment for the people at home. Which interestingly
Yes,
tonight is not a review for anyone at home that did not realize that at this point. No, actually tonight it's one of our open forum discussions where you and I will talk about something very, very fun in the final cut.
The final cut.
Guys, tonight for the final cut, DJ and I are going to be talking about something that Garrick actually pitched an idea for us on this one, and he kind of posed it as movie ratings have changed so much since movie ratings have first become a thing, and even in our lifetimes, even yours, DJ, the way movie ratings have not necessarily handled, but what dictates movie ratings has changed as well. And before we kind of go into this conversation, I have here a list or a brief paragraph here sort of explaining how movies are currently rated, right? So for the people at home, movies are rated by the Motion Picture Association of America, otherwise known as the MPAA, through a system called the Classification and Rating Administration, also known as CARA. This is where a board of independent parents watch a film and assign a rating based on factors like violence, language, sex, and drug use, considering what the majority of American parents would deem appropriate for their children to see. The ratings are G for general audience, PG for parental guidance suggested, PG-13 for parents strongly cautioned, R for restricted, and NC-17 for adults only, which is like one that is never ever seen because like theaters don't want that shit. They really don't.
They don't want, because like every theater promotes like family like atmosphere. You bring your kids, all that jazz.
Exactly.
There isn't really one besides like any of those tavern theaters. You know what I mean? Where it's like you order food and like you can order alcohol. Technically, but even then, it's still catered to. Yeah, bring your family. You can have a meal and watch a movie for like $84.
I love that shit. Dude. It's so much fun, dude. Like we have one of those theaters that you can do that with, and they have like a balcony, that you can go to at the very back of the theater. And they have like a whole ass like McMiniman's ass like type bar like restaurant thing with a menu that you can order, and they like bring the food to you and shit. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. I haven't been to that theater in a while, but I'd like to. It's pretty fun. So DJ, let's start with this. How have you noticed movie ratings sort of I guess changing. How do you feel they've changed over time in terms of like the rating versus what you've actually seen in the movie, right? How do you feel that's changed for you in your lifetime?
It's changed a bit. I mean, we get a lot of PG-13 movies a lot. I think that is kind of like the most common rating I've seen. Not a lot of G movies. I mean, there are a lot of G's, but like, there's always some type of themes, and I guess things are changing over time culturally, and what we, accept as a culture, as a society.
Right.
So, when like Garrick brought this idea up, what we consider that might just be like, oh, it's like nothing. Like, I don't know, I guess like saying crap or something, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That would have marked it. Maybe in the past it would have marked the a little bit up, but now you can just say it. I think you can say crap in a PG movie, at least PG.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think I've heard it in a G movie for sure.
I'm pretty sure I have too. I'm pretty sure I've heard hell in a G movie.
We get an F-bomb in a PG-13 movie.
We get one. They're allowed one. Yeah.
one F-bomb. One fuck, and that's it.
Yep. Goddamn. Feels good, man. Yeah. I agree. I mean, like obviously we've sort of changed in terms of like what I think Americans can sort of like handle consuming via their entertainment. I do find it interesting because like when I think about it in retrospect, even trailers for movies have changed so much. Like in the most like recent like Minions movie trailer, right? Like obviously a kids movie, rated G, right?
Mm-hmm.
This trailer starts out with like one of the minions like getting stabbed with a fucking sword, and like another minion like yelling at another one, and like another minion's like covering themselves up with a towel because they were naked, right? Which is like suggestive as fuck. Like it's just like things like that. I'm just like, how in the world? Like I get it because it's a kids movie, right? And I'm sure that these parents thought that like this would go well over their head. But that's crazy because when I was a kid, that shit would not have slid for trailers at all. Like people would have lost their fucking minds if they saw like some cartoon characters like stabbing the shit out of each other in a movie trailer. That would have been fucking. I mean, back when I was a kid, though, their parents were freaking the fuck out about like their kids listening to Marilyn Manson and shit. So it's like, which, come to find out in my older age was understandable because that guy sucks. Yeah. But yeah, man, it has changed a lot. So I definitely agree with you. Do you find yourself feeling like these movies are not being rated very well in terms of like what the content reflects versus the rating? Or do you feel like that they're pretty like tried and true?
I feel like ratings don't freaking matter anymore. It's like
okay.
I rarely think about the rating when I'm going to watch a film. Maybe, well, I don't have a kid,
right.
So
right,
like
right.
maybe you're more proactive in scouting that out. Uh, uh, I don't know. I just don't think about it.
Yeah, I mean, having a kid, like because of how sort of looped into movies you and I are, because of what we do, right? I'm pretty have a good grasp on like a movie. Like when I see the trailer, like I can kind of just tell like where it is that they're trying to lean into. And thankfully my daughter's pretty good at sort of compartmentalizing that movies aren't real. And I know that she's good about it because my mom, when I was younger, was having me watch movies with her that I arguably had no business watching. Uh, my mom really, really likes a good action movie, and so I was tied into a lot of just pure blood alpha male, just all gas, no brakes action flick. No matter how heavy that went. Like I was watching people getting shot in movies, stabbed, sword fights. They're fighting, they're punching. People's heads are getting caved in. This is crazy shit when I was a fucking kid. And my mom, unfortunately, has still also been doing the same thing with my daughter when she babysits her or has her for a night, right? But every time that like we've talked about it, my daughter's always been like, "Oh yeah, I know it's just a movie," and so it's like I'm glad that she can sort of like compartmentalize that. But I also know that there's some parents that are like that have like homeschooled Christian kids, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like those ones, and they're just like, "I don't want you to watch that Disney movie because they're casting magic," right? Like that's just fucking weird, but. And I know that there's some parents that really, really do kind of just really rely on these ratings. I'm in the same boat as you though. I don't really think about it all that much until I see the movie, and then I'm like, oh, that should have been rated R. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it was rated R, there could have been so much more here, right? And I think that's something that's actually interesting that comes to mind for me when I thought about the subject. I was kind of putting together notes and stuff. Was that like imagine imagine the movies we could have gotten that would have been better served if they were rated differently, right? Because like
Yeah.
they get the movie into like almost done, like post production, right? They send that shit in. These independent parents pick up their fucking popcorn or whatever and watch this fucking movie, and they have their congregation about, you know, their opinions. They write it down or whatever. They say this is what I think the movie should be rated, and I'm sure that they take the average of all those parents, kind of combine them together. uh and then that gets sent to the movie, and then they have to do chops and edits and other post production to accommodate for that rating, right? Imagine there's like some movies that we've gotten that have been great that could have been better if they were not restricted by a PG rating. You know what I mean? Like that should have been PG-13.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think. Are you okay over there? You okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like messaging. I had a message.
Yeah.
I
I didn't know if
But
you were.
no. I'm listening. I'm listening.
I got you. I got you. You're definitely attentive. I do also want to mention too, DJ. There's a movie um that I want to recommend to people at home and to you if you haven't seen it yet. It's a movie that came out in like early 2000s. That was called "This Film Is Not Yet Rated," or "This Film Isn't
Mhm.
Rated Yet," or yeah, "This Film Is Not Yet Rated," because that's the phrasing that they use for like the movie when it's not rated yet. And it's a documentary that talks about the process of movies getting rated, and it
Mhm.
also sort of talks about how the MA or the MPAA is super fucking weird about how they rate their movies. And even here, like kind of uh there we go. So some of the things that they talk about in the movie is how uh ratings board members uh they say that their ratings are suggested by parents that have kids between the ages of 5 and 17, but a lot of times they found that these parents either have children that are over 18 or don't have any children at all sometimes. So they don't even actually follow the credentials correctly sometimes. They also talk about how homosexual material, gay material in movies is treated at far more harshly from the MPAA
Mhm.
than other movies, which fucking sucks. Sexual activities in movies, generally speaking, are kind of like weird for them. But apparently, it was shown that the MPAA and the parents involved frequently treat female sexual activity more
Yeah.
harshly than male activity, which is fucking crazy too, right? And then it also talks about things like NC-17 ratings, like often like significantly reducing a film's chance of success because like theaters don't want that movie, right? And so it's like there's tons of stuff. This movie is super interesting for anybody that is like a movie buff like DJ and I are. It's really
Yeah.
cool to kind of see from like the mechanic standpoint of this. But I suppose my next question for you, DJ, is how do you feel? Because obviously, as somebody that doesn't really focus a whole lot on ratings yourself, right? Um,
Yeah.
how do you feel movie ratings and the way that they're handled and the credentials in which they base movie ratings on? How do you see that changing in the future? Do you see them becoming more lax or less lax?
I It's a hard call. If I would have said maybe a few months ago, I probably would have said it would got more lax. But with the way America is going right now,
Ah, that's
it
fair.
might get a little bit more strict.
That's fair.
So, you know, um, a lot of shit going on. There's a lot of politics and things of that nature, and like this quote unquote censorship, uncensorship, all this. Um, it I have no clue. Like it could go either way, but I think it might just get more restricted. um, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but at the same time, we've been enjoying movies like this for a while, and it. I I don't know. I have no clue. No clue
Yeah,
how
yeah,
it might
man.
play out.
It's rough, dude. I mean, like, there's a lot of really really good movies that we've seen that have been just flat out PG or even PG-13,
Hmm.
right? I mean, like, and we've
Yeah.
we've talked about before how, like, because there was that time when there were people like, oh, like, this movie's not rated R, it's gonna be dog shit, right? And we had
Hmm.
talked like at length about, like, well, fucking, like, Christopher Nolan's Batman movies were all PG-13. Those movies are fucking
Yeah.
amazing, right? Um, I can't think of any, like, sort of off the top of my head currently that are, like, of note, but, like, what was the rating for Oppenheimer? What was that?
Was
It
R
had
rating or
it
was
had to
the
be
general
R,
census?
right? It had to
Yeah,
be R
yeah, it was R. Yeah, it was R. It was
because
R rated.
he's
It was
definitely like smashing Florence Pugh cheek.
yeah,
Like,
no, no, yeah, it was yeah, definitely R. Definitely R for sure.
okay, then maybe the
I
other
think
side
that
of
scene alone made it R. If it wasn't, I think it still would have been PG-13.
fucking crazy if it wasn't, right? So
Because like
let's
no one dies in that film. No one gets shot. No one gets like dismembered. Like
right.
it's
Yes,
like I
okay, so
think literally because of that scene, and then like remember he's in the interview and like he's all naked and they're like fucking
yeah,
saying
right. And he's like in the chair
uh
and shit like that. It was definitely
yeah.
rated R. Definitely rated R. I'm seeing that here. So let's go to the other side.
Yeah.
Let's look at Barbie, right? Um uh
Barbie was G, right? It wasn't even PG.
Barbie was PG-13.
Oh wow.
PG-13. Yeah.
I gotta think
Uh
about it. Yeah, that makes sense actually.
it says let's see here. We're for suggestive references and brief language.
Yeah, brief language. Someone said shit.
That's
I
right.
know
That's
someone said
right.
shit.
I think it was probably Ryan
Um,
Gosling, actually.
yeah,
um,
something like that.
dude, that's funny because that movie you just said, like, that movie had to be G, right? And that's
Yeah,
like
and then it's
such
just like PG-13. You're like, oh, okay,
that's
sure.
like two ratings above, dog. Like, I even would have taken that as like a PG.
I would
You know
have
what I
taken
mean? Like,
PG. Like I was like, okay, PG, that makes sense. Yeah, but PG-13? You're
yeah,
saying
dude,
shit?
that's crazy,
Um,
brother. That's
or
crazy.
crap or what suggestive themes? There wasn't like besides like
Well, it says suggestive
how do
references. So I wonder
suggestive
if it's
reference. I
like,
guess maybe there were some like inside jokes there. Um
or like him, like Ken, like hitting on her. You know, like maybe.
or like the what's it, the reject Barbie house? Like they had some jokes over there. Remember like she went up to the like
Oh,
disformed Barbies.
here we go. Here they actually IMDb has some examples for like why that content rating happened. So they say for sex and nudity, Barbie gets catcalled by several male construction
Oh
workers.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
let's see.
But that's not I don't know.
Right. No. I know. I see. That's what I mean. Her breasts are shown inflating, just like a real life growing up Skipper doll. Um, it is implied a man smacks Barbie's behind.
Oh yeah, I think that did happen.
Yeah, that was the thing
Shit it
too.
did.
And then for like,
Oh yeah, no, the girl she meets at at the school, like she's like talking
yeah,
about like depression or whatnot.
uh
I guess.
huh, yeah, right.
Um,
Violence and gore here. Let's see. They put um a big fight among a lot of characters involves use of silly weapons and physical grappling. So, I mean, they had fight scenes, right? There were fight scenes in that movie.
mhm.
Um, oh, profanity. A couple uses of Barbie bitch in the closing credits soundtrack.
Oh,
The word
okay.
phallic
Well,
is used.
yeah.
One use of motherfucker, but it's censored. Four uses of
Oh,
crap and one use of
G
hell
says
and
in
damn.
chat, I can see more movies going the way of the Snyder Cut, where the theatrical version of Justice League was PG-13, but the home Snyder Cut was rated R. Yeah, probably see that.
Ah,
Maybe.
man.
Well, also we gotta think about how a lot of movies go to streaming. So
True,
you know what I
true,
mean?
true.
Um, I guess with that, because like you really don't have any control over the rating, right? Or like the rating was gonna be there, but like you have no control of who's gonna watch it, right? At least when you
Well,
go to the movie theater, you could be like, oh, you're going right up? Can I see your ID or whatever? And
I mean,
are you
arguably though,
18?
because there's like some, I'm sure the ratings dictate how accessible it is when there's parental
Mm-hmm.
controls, right? You know, so
Right.
like potentially that
But
could make a
like,
difference. But
parental controls are something you have to turn on,
right,
physically.
right.
So, or like you have to go yourself and turn it on instead of because like on default it's gonna be there. Things are gonna be
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Now here's the deal though, for our commenter in chat. I don't know if I like the idea of that, right? And it's
I
not
don't
to
like it either.
it's not to say that like I think that it wouldn't be successful. I have a hard time already with the theatrical and non-theatrical version, or the like Snyder cut, if you will, ordeal,
Mm-hmm.
because we've been let's say enemies of this for a little bit of time, mostly because we saw how things went with Rebel Moon, right? And
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, you know, like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Like,
Uh,
come on, man.
I like, and I think long gone are the days of people wanting incentive to get, or to re-see the movie they saw in theaters in a different
Mhm.
version at home, because like through VOD or something like that. Um, it's not just, again, it's not to say that I don't think it would be successful. I just personally don't know if I like the idea of that. But who knows? That could be the solution that they come up with. Yeah,
Mhm.
it'll be crazy to see. DJ, do you have any final thoughts, my friend?
I just hope that it doesn't, like with ratings with movies, I think it's gone the way of like especially in America, like video game ratings, like no one really cares. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't take this shit as seriously as like Japan does, or like any other country outside the US. You
Right,
know what I
right.
mean? Um but I just hope it's not like some arbitrary thing that just happens, or like um I talk about Balatro, right? Um,
Good game.
you need to play it. But
I do,
anyway,
I do. Yeah, I
um,
do.
so Balatro in the UK got a Peggy 17 rating
Hmm. Interesting. Okay.
because there's gambling in it,
Uh huh.
but you're not using real money ever besides buying the game.
Right.
It's all fake.
Right. Right.
But FIFA gets in like a Peggy 12, Peggy like everyone rating,
Uh huh.
and it has actual gambling in it in the terms
Yeah.
of real microtransactions.
Uh huh.
Um, and so like the creator of Blatcher, he puts out a tweet. He's like, "All right, guys, I'm gonna add microtransactions so I can get my shit down to PG, just get my shit down to a
That's
good
so
rating,
funny.
you know."
That's so funny. Now, granted, I do remember. Kind of not remember. I kind of vaguely remember hearing about FIFA catching some kind of lawsuit from somebody in either in the UK or a different country, generally speaking, because of
Yeah.
that exact reason, right? Yeah, like I feel like there
hmm
was some foundation or
Yeah,
some
they've
group.
had a couple things in Europe about like the rating and how it's supposed to be, and
Yeah, because in the
you know what I
UK and
mean.
Australia too, like they're very strict on gambling shit. They're
hmm
like surprisingly strict on gambling shit. So I wouldn't be surprised if they had a good amount of pushback even then
Oh,
still.
dude, you know what? I actually have something, dude.
Oh, okay,
Because
okay,
like, think about this, right?
okay.
You know how in China they don't show blood. Like blood is
Mm,
not like it's a no go.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Blood and skulls, right?
Yes, right,
Um,
right.
I feel like with our rating system, if this ever like gets restricted, we're gonna get that certain crowd that's gonna be like, "Oh, it's censorship! It's censorship! It's
Ah,
woke!
yeah.
DEI woke!" It's gonna be like that for the next like
It's gonna be
4
fucking awful,
years.
man. It's gonna be fucking
Yeah.
terrible if that's the way it goes. Oh man, that's
Like I was just reminded of that. Like I forget, and then I'm reminded. I'm like, this is terrible.
and it's fucking crazy to think about that, like that could make such a difference. Such a
Yeah.
difference, dude. Like, I mean, like, we already see how many of these like movies that get like review bombed and shit are
Mhm.
so arguably, because I have no proof of this. I have no evidence and a way to prove that this is actually
Yeah.
factual. But I would argue that a good majority of the people that review bomb movies and stuff are American, right?
Mhm.
Because like of this sort of like weird need and desire to be the vocal minority, quote unquote, if you will. Um, and how people are so easily up in arms about putting in a review on something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know what I mean? So like it's crazy to get how Americans specifically get such a sway on this stuff. Because like
Mhm.
we've seen great movies get fucking review bombed to the fucking floor,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All because like of what people would consider American anti wokeness, right? Like,
Or like against religious views or something like that. Like if it
mhm,
was like a movie about like Satanism or some shit, or like it has like Satan in it,
right,
like
right.
it gets review bombed by, you know what I mean, or boycotted, and
Well, and
this and
now
that.
it's getting even worse because now all the movie needs is a black woman in it, and they just lose their fucking minds, right? Like,
Yeah,
like they just
truly.
if the main character is a
Well,
woman,
do you know like an example of a movie that we've reviewed that was like that? I can't remember off the top of my head a movie last year that
oh,
was like that. Because
uh,
like even though we had Lupita Nyong'o in A Quiet Place Day One, there wasn't
yeah,
a lot of
they didn't really talk
they
about
really
that
fuck with
movie.
that. They don't
Yeah.
fuck with that.
Let's see here. Uh,
Um,
wait, is this games review? Well, oh, just general stuff.
Gladiator Two, kind of. They were
Well,
mad about Denzel being in
I
there.
think they were mostly they were mad about Denzel. I think they were also mad that like Russell Crowe wasn't going to be in it. Um,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Ooh.
it's fucking weird.
Um,
Okay, here we go. Let's see. Oh, Eternals. That got review bombed like fucking crazy. Marvel Eternals, yeah.
yeah, that did too. Yeah, yeah. I thought I was saying like any movies we reviewed last year. Like
Oh, last year, yeah, no, I couldn't tell you about last year.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
just generally speaking, though, Black Panther also got
yeah.
review
Black
bombed.
Panther,
Captain
both of
Marvel,
them.
yeah,
Yeah, for
both of
some
them.
reason people they just hated Captain Marvel.
God, dude.
I
Well,
mean, it was bad, but it's like it doesn't deserve that much hate. They just hate Brie
yeah,
Larson for some reason.
right,
Um,
right, yeah. They just I'm pretty sure they just wanted guy Captain Marvel, which fucking sucks. But, uh,
mm.
and then like the number one that is noted here for like biggest like review bombing was Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Um, and Lord
Oh, dude,
knows.
fucking not last year, but like the year before, or not. Was it the Acolyte? Did we do the Acolyte last year?
Oh yeah, the Acolyte. Yes, that was one that definitely got fucking review bombed.
Yeah,
I th-
I was because I was remembering something. I was like, I just don't know if it was a movie or a show that we did, that we reviewed. But yeah, Acolyte for sure. That one, and that got the season 2 canceled,
wow,
and that was a good show.
I
It was
literally
a really
just
good show.
pulled up this again. The Acolytes at the very top of this list. Rings of
Yeah.
Power. Rings of Power got fucking review bombed.
Oh wow, yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
The Last of Us season 1 episode 3
Oh wow, yeah.
got
You're
review bombed
right.
like fucking
You're
crazy.
right.
People were so it got
You're right.
28% on IMDb because of his review
We didn't
bombing
want to
too.
see a game that I bet you they were there for the whole time until they started like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
Wait a
they
minute.
were in it to win it
Wait
for
a
those
minute.
first 2 episodes, and that third
And
one
then they
happened. They're like,
kissed on the fucking piano and it was
what's
all
with all
downhill.
these queers? These men kissing each other like these fucking losers, dude. Let's
Oh
see.
man.
Yeah, Captain Marvel 2019, The Promise, The Last Jedi. Yeah, dude, fuck. That's a very very good point because I think that that's going to dictate potentially a whole lot in
Because
terms
these
of
people have bigger voices now. It's amplified by
uh huh
who we all chose to put in power.
uh huh
Uh,
uh huh
and
uh huh.
um, I'm not saying we as in I chose or you and me I chose it, but we as a collective of Americans, majority rules, man. So we as this is our America now,
It's our
and
America now, baby.
and I don't care if they find this video and you leave any comments on this video, we will delete them. we will be blocked.
We'll delete or
But
we will engage. Just beware.
yeah, and this is and I'm not even crying about it. I'm like, I know this is gonna backfire on all of you soon. So but
that's what it
hey,
is.
if you guys want this, then sure, have at it, man. We'll just keep doing us. We'll just keep reviewing the shows and movies that we want to see and we support. And you know, we do not support bigotry, racism, transphobia, homophobia.
Especially in our entertainment, man. Especially in our fucking entertainment. We don't want that shit.
Especially in my entertainment. See, I'm trying to escape from all of that, you know. I'm gonna throw a page out there, but I'm just trying to escape, you know. It reminds me too much of real life. Bigotry, racism reminds me too much of real life. Just trying
for sure.
Trying to live in my fantasy land.
And you guys at home can keep looking out for one as well, because this has been 20,000 Films Under the Sea, your choice for all the nerdy pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you wanted each and every week. If you liked what you heard, you can head on over to our Discord channel where you can submit questions and topics, get exclusive content, and have early access to episodes before they go live on podcasts and video services near you. Chat, do you feel the R rating could be used on more kids' cartoons due to the theme rather than language or blood?
It depends. Because, like, of course, not real blood or real blood or blood. I mean, I feel like you could, I guess you would focus more on themes, but still, like, visuals are pretty apparent. Kids will gravitate to anything colorful. So,
I think those studios are pretty aware of that too. So like they typically will kind of say like, hey, like we can't
cartoons are like very, very heavily like rated, like scrutinized and like meticulously rated than like live action.
Yeah. Good. Thank you, G. We appreciate you. If you've emptied your pockets for the latest and greatest in entertainment, that is cool with us. You can watch us record this show right here on twitch.tv/Kraken Show. You can also support us by going to our YouTube channel, hitting that bell and subscribing, or by leaving a review on our podcast channel. Just search for 20,000 Films Under the Sea. We'll be right there waiting for you.
Oh yeah, we're waiting for you.
We have to get going, everybody. But until next time, my friends.
This podcast is rated R for actually it's rated A for amazing.
A for amazing, baby. Let's go.
I couldn't find R. I couldn't find it.